Hello, I am Valerie Kapp, and in today's webinar, we will be talking about career exploration, vocational training, and educational opportunities, focusing on the resources available to you and your consumer in the web portal. We will be looking at career exploration tools and the online resources available for your consumer and you to assist you in providing vocational rehabilitation guidance and counseling. The web portal has resources for your consumer, including career videos to watch and information about informational interviews, job shadowing, and other career exploration ideas and approaches. You will learn about resources for adult basic education, career and technical education, community college, trade schools, apprenticeships, and much more. There will be resources about the Office of Disability Services, online learning, and professional development. And like I said, there's much more, so let's get started. Let's begin with the purpose of career exploration. The purpose of career exploration is to assist an individual in selecting an employment goal amongst several potential options. It is intended to provide the individual job seeker an opportunity to interact and observe with people in performing job tasks. Today, we will be reviewing the resources for career exploration that are in the web portal. Those resources include career exploration tools, informational interview, job shadowing, volunteering, temporary work settings, situational assessment or community-based assessment, and career exploration worksheets. If you and your consumer are working on career exploration, you could assign your consumer to go to the web portal and review these career exploration resources so they have a better idea of what is meant by career exploration, the tools available to do that. Whenever we are talking with our consumers about looking for a job, the topic of labor market comes to the forefront. And so what is the labor market? This is a resource in the web portal that your consumer can go to better understand the labor market and what it means. So what is the labor market? The supply of available workers in relation to available work. A tight labor market has more jobs than workers. A slack labor market has more workers than jobs. Labor market information can help you make a good decision when you want to look for a job, change jobs, or move to a new place. It tells you about jobs and salaries, what jobs and skills employers are looking for, which industries are hiring, what education and training you need for specific jobs, and which job areas are growing in the future. Here is a resource regarding the Ohio labor market. If you're working with someone in Ohio, you could refer them to this website and then get information about the Ohio labor market. You're working with your consumer on deciding what kind of career, what kind of job would be right for them. The web portal has some resources to help explore that question to find the answer. Here you have video, what career should I choose, employment tip, career exploration and labor market information, and career aptitude test, what career is right for me. So let's look at the video, what career should I choose? This video is by Jonathan Milligan. He's from CPACareerCoach.com, and he reviews 3 questions that need to be answered in order to get on the right track for choosing a career.
Hello, this is Jonathan with CPACareerCoach.com, and I just wanted to share a quick video explaining to you some of the factors that you need to consider in choosing a career. So here we are on the online whiteboard, and I've drawn 3 circles as a way to represent 3 different areas that you need to consider in choosing a career. And this can apply to all ages. It doesn't really matter if you are 18 and just entering college, and you're really trying to think through this idea of what major to go after, or whether you're in your 40s and 50s and looking to make kind of a mid-career shift.
So your consumer is not sure what kind of career job they want. So here are some more tools to do career exploration that are in the web portal. The Americans Career Infonet at www.acinet.org. It includes information on job trends, wages, and national and local labor markets. It has videos about careers, industries, industry groups, abilities, and more. It has a career tool guide to use for career, education, and business decisions. It can tell you the tools and technology used in a specific occupation, and it has much, much more. Here is the Career One-Stop webpage, your source for career exploration, training, and jobs. As you can see here at the top, they have Explore Careers, Find Training, Job Search, Find Local Help, a toolkit, and resources. So if you want to go to Explore Careers, as you can see, they have information of what kind of career will fit you best, occupational profiles, explore careers, self-assessments, learning about careers, and plan your career. They also have videos. They have this in the top questions. What's the difference between a career, a job, and an occupation? How do I upgrade my skills? What occupations will have the best jobs, the most jobs? So there's all kinds of information here for people to help them explore careers and jobs. Another resource for career exploration is Ohio Means Jobs at ohiomeansjobs.org. It also includes information on career planning, career pathways, and in-demand careers. It has a career profile which can suggest career options that match your interest. It lists Ohio-based employment programs. It has online training for job skills to assist you in finding careers best suited to your skills, and much more. The next resource in the web portal is related to the Illinois WorkNet Center at www.illinoisworknet.com. It includes information for exploring careers, on wages and trends, training that is available, apprenticeships availability, and adult basic education information. It has a job skill guide and has postings of job openings and places that are recruiting new employees, and they have networking videos and resources. Our next career exploration tool is ONET Online. You can go to that website at www.onetonline.org. It can help you and your consumer find occupations and explore careers. You can choose from industry, field of work, science area, and more. You can find information about apprenticeships, education, military, and the standard occupational classification. It has detailed descriptions and analysis of occupations and much more. Here is the ONET Online web page. As you can see, you can find occupations, do an advanced search, do crosswalks, and I do believe this was talked more in depth in the webinar about online assessments. Great tool for consumers to find occupations and explore jobs. This next resource is the ONET Interest Profiler, My Next Move. It helps consumers find out about their interest and how they relate to the world of work. It can help them decide what kind of career they might want to explore. So let's go to the website. Here is My Next Move. ONET Interest Profiler to help you find out what your interests are related to jobs. It has 60 questions about work activities that some people do on their jobs. So you read each question and you click on whether you'd like or dislike it. Just think about if you would like or dislike doing the work, and there are no right or wrong answers. So then here are the 60 questions. Build kitchen cabinets, write books or plays. Here is another career exploration resource in the web portal, Careers Video Library by myplan.com. This is a listing of 489 videos. They are of jobs related to management, to life, physical and social sciences, to food preparation and services, to construction and mining and everything in between. So you could assign this to a consumer to go explore the different types of jobs available. And then there is a very short video regarding that job. There are more resources in the web portal for career exploration, including this one that has 300 career videos by Dr. Kit at www.drkit.org/career videos. They interview different professionals and they are asked to describe their typical day, what the qualifications are required for the job, what are the best and worst parts of the job, and any final advice they have for someone interested in this line of work. So let's go explore that website. Here we have Dr. Kit's website. You can click on the career to hear the person's answers about the 4 questions. So if you talk about veterinarian technician, here are the 4 questions. A typical day, qualifications for the job, best and worst parts of the job, and advice for someone interested in this line of work. You would click on this video and then that person, that professional, would then answer those questions. So this is a good way for consumers to learn about typical days in different professions. The U.S. Department of Labor Career One Stop also has career and cluster videos. It shows the types of work people do in 550 careers. The videos are organized by clusters recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. You and your consumer are now talking about what kind of career or job they want to look for. You, as a VR counselor, could either purchase the service of career exploration, or you could have the consumer, if they're able, to maybe do their career exploration on their own. Either way, you could have the consumer go to the web portal and review the information on career exploration so they have a better understanding of what to expect, what to do, and what it means. So these are the resources for doing career exploration. It can include conducting information interviews with people actually doing the jobs, job shadowing to observe the individual performing the job tasks associated with the occupation. If possible, be given an opportunity to attempt the actual job tasks would be great. Volunteer work, temporary work assignments, and situational assessments. These are the options that could be used to help a person explore different types of careers. Informational interviews. This is a way to do career exploration. This is a meeting in which a job seeker seeks advice on their career, the industry, and corporate culture of a potential future workplace. It is a one-on-one conversation with someone who has a job you might like, who works in the industry you might want to enter, or who is employed by a specific company that you're interested in learning about. You can discuss what the job entails on a day-to-day basis, and it can build your self-confidence and improve your ability to handle a job interview. You and your consumer decide you want to do some informational interviews, or you have purchased the service and the service provider has decided they want to do some informational interviews. to explore specific jobs. So you could assign your consumer to go to the web portal to get sample questions, and they could write them down and be better prepared for the interview, as well as they could be held more accountable in the whole VR process and participate more in developing some of the questions. So here are some of the questions. Why did this type of work interest you, and how did you get started? What are the most important personal satisfactions and dissatisfactions connected with your occupation? What is your job like? Is there a basic philosophy of the company or organization? And if so, what is it? And then you can go to this website, which is in the web portal, for a full list of questions to choose for an informational interview. Some additional questions the consumer may want to ask is if the employer has a track record of hiring people with disabilities. Does the employer have a history of providing job accommodations to people with disabilities? What are the employer's policies related to time schedules? And is the business location convenient to alternative sources of transportation? Here is a list of some video resources in the web portal related to information interviews. So let's look at the video, The Do's and Don'ts of Informational Interviews. This is by the Office of Professional and Career Development at the Syracuse University College of Law, and it looks at how to and how not to conduct yourself in an informational interview. Very informative, about 4 minutes and 10 seconds long. Let's look at it.
Excuse me, can I help you?
Yeah, I have an appointment with Bob. It was at 10 o'clock.
Okay, it looks like you're about 5 minutes late, so if you just want to have a seat, he'll be right with you.
Yeah, the parking was so bad. Okay.
Hi.
Hello,
How
good
can I help
morning. Yes, hi, my name is Sarah Cruz. I have an appointment with Mr. Jones.
Okay, great, Sarah. If you want to just have a seat, he'll be right with you.
Sure, thank you very much.
Say, I didn't really get a chance myself to look up anything about this guy. Could you tell me a little bit more?
Well, I'm just here for an informational interview. I just went on the law firm's website and researched his biography. And he's a litigator, and I just have a couple of questions concerning his legal career and litigation in general.
Did you have a problem finding parking up here? I could not find a spot for the life of me.
Actually, I did not. If you look on the website, they have a tab there that says directions, and they'll have a list of parking garages in the area.
Oh, now that I think about it, can I get a pen for this interview? Can I borrow one of yours?
Sure, absolutely.
Thanks.
John.
Yeah. Hey, Bob. How are you doing?
Coming in. Follow me. So do you have any questions for me?
Well, actually, I didn't really have a lot of time to look up anything you did. So could you tell me a little bit more about your job?
Unfortunately, I have another meeting, but thanks for coming in.
Okay, thank you so much. If you hear anything, could you please, just keep me updated? That would be great.
We'll do that.
Okay, thank you so much. You say thanks again, Bob.
Nice meeting you. Sarah Cruz.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, hey,
That's good.
I forgot to give you your pen.
Oh, it's okay, you can keep it.
Okay, all right, thanks again, Bob.
Okay.
Thank you.
So do you have any questions for me?
Yes, actually, I do. I was researching your practice area, and I have a couple of questions for you. Do you mind if I take notes?
Please.
Thank you.
Fortunately, I have another meeting, but thanks for coming in. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you for meeting with me and taking the time to talk to me about the practice of law and how much you enjoy it. I really appreciate it.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you very much. I promise to keep you updated. Have a nice day.
Very nice meeting you.
Thanks for meeting you too.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time to meet with me. You have a nice day. Thank you.
Well, you gotta see this.
Why? What happened?
Don sent me a text thanking me 5 minutes after he left.
Oh my gosh. Not good.
Add Sarah to our contacts list, please.
No problem.
Another way to explore a career is through job shadowing. Job shadowing is a work experience where individuals learn about a job by walking through the workday as a shadow to a competent worker. The job shadowing work experience is a temporary, unpaid exposure to the workplace in an occupational area of interest to the individual. The job shadowing can last an hour, an entire workday, or a series of days, depending on the nature of the job and the level of interest of the job seeker. If you and your consumer have decided they are able to plan their own career exploration, and one of those options is through job shadowing, here is some information to help them arrange those opportunities. Again, starting with informational interviews. And possibly at the end of the information interview, if the consumer feels they have established a comfortable rapport with the person, they could mention it would be helpful if they could job shadow someone doing that particular job. The employer may feel they know the person enough to trust them and be willing to set up a job shadowing opportunity. They could also use mutual acquaintances. If they know someone who knows someone that works in their field of interest, they could call someone and ask if they know of someone who would be willing to talk with them about a job shadowing opportunity. And then there's also the referral method. They may have a mutual acquaintance arrange the job shadow for them, as they will have to vouch for them anyway. This is another resource in the web portal where a consumer can read more about job shadowing. It has information on job shadowing and overview, setting up a job shadowing experience, getting the most out of the job shadow, and what to do after the job shadowing experience. And it is by experience by simplicity and has some very good information for a consumer. The web portal has a video related to job shadowing questions. So if your consumer is going to be doing some job shadowing, you could refer them to the web portal to review this video and get some questions when they do their job shadowing activity. Another avenue for career exploration is through volunteering. Let's look at its benefits. The benefits of volunteering is that it can connect you to others. It helps you make new friends and contacts. It can increase your social and relationship skills. It is good for your mind and body. It can increase your self-esteem. It can help deal with depression. It can help you stay physically healthy. It can advance your career. It can provide career experience. It can teach you valuable job skills. And it brings fun and fulfillment to your life. And here is an article regarding the benefits of volunteering from helpguide.org, a trusted nonprofit guide to mental health and well-being. Let's go look at that article. So here is the helpguide.org article. Helpguide.org is a trusted nonprofit guide for mental health and well-being. It talks about the different benefits of volunteering. It connects you to others, it can advance your career, it's good for your mind and body, and it can bring fun and fulfillment into your life. So it's a good article for someone to read about volunteering. There are some cautions related to volunteering. Volunteer work is not a substitute for paid employment. As part of career exploration, keep volunteering brief and make sure the goal remains employment. People with disabilities should only do volunteer work that is similar to what other members of the community are doing as volunteers. It can sometimes take a lot of effort to find volunteer work for a person with a significant disability. Such effort may be better spent on finding paid employment. Volunteer work is an option for some people in specific situations, but it is not for everyone. Another avenue for career exploration is temporary work assignments. I am not sure if all VR agencies support this avenue. However, it's still a legitimate way for a consumer to get some work experience and explore a career. Temporary work assignments is a situation where the employee is expected to leave the job within a certain period of time. Sometimes temporary workers are called contractual, seasonal, interim or casual staff, freelance, or temps. Temporary workers may be full-time or part-time. Sometimes they receive benefits, but usually benefits are only given to permanent employees or workers. A temporary work agency, a temp agency, or a temporary staffing firm finds and retains workers. Other companies in need of short-term workers contract with the temporary work agency to send temporary workers or temps on assignments to work at the other companies. Here are 2 resources in the web portal to learn more about temp agencies. There's a video, 3 reasons to try temporary work, and then working with an employment or temp agency. So these could be resources if you and your consumer are considering going to a temporary agency as a way to have career exploration. Here are some of the benefits of temporary work. It gets you out of bed in the morning. You've got something to do. It gets you in the door, which may lead to a full-time position. It gets you decent pay. It builds your professional network. You can nurture relationships with coworkers during the assignment, and the contact may lead to a job in the future. It gets you references for future employment. It keeps your resume alive. There are no gaps in employment, and it keeps your skills sharp. The last tool we want to talk about for career exploration is the situational assessment or community-based assessment. This is a valuable tool for assisting a person with a disability to make choices about the types of jobs and work environments they would enjoy. The assessment happens using actual employment and community settings. It allows for information to be generated quickly concerning employment options that are worth pursuing further. It reduces the risk both to the job seeker and the employer in the placement process, and it expands the job seeker's exposure to the community. The situational assessment or community-based assessment allows for evaluation of the ability of the work environment to naturally provide those work supports. Sometimes individuals are paid by a non-employer source. Situational assessment means trying out a job in the community for a few hours up to a few days so the job seeker can determine if they are well suited for that type of work. A functional community-based assessment or situational assessment is used to determine the job seeker's skills, interest, learning style, social skills, and support needs. The information helps customize desirable and suitable work options. During the assessment, skills are assessed that are used in actual work environments, and availability of supports and support needs can be identified. Again, if the consumer is going to be participating in a situational or community-based assessment, you could assign the consumer to go to the web portal and read about situational assessments and community-based assessment so they can be more prepared to know what to expect. The next few slides will have situational assessment questions. Again, assigning your consumer to read these questions so they know what they will be evaluated on and what the job coach will be looking at and observing and reporting. So here we have some of the questions. Identify each task consumer is to complete along with the description of the task. For each task, explain whether or not the individual was able to understand and carry out each job task reasonably well for a new employee. Note any tasks she continued to struggle with throughout the assessment. For each task, indicate whether or not the individual was able to perform at the expected quality needed. for each task, indicate whether or not the individual was able to perform each task at the required speed or quantity needed for the employer. If not, explain any issues identified. And was the individual able to monitor her own work quality and quantity and make adjustments without prompting? Continuing with some of the questions, assess individual's ability to approach her supervisor and request assistance, clarification, or other needs. Identify vocational strengths. Note any environmental concerns that may be an issue for the individual in this environment, such as safety, people interactions, distractions. Indicate whether or not the individual appears to have the ability to work independently in a community-based job. If not, explain why not. Make recommendations. How is the individual's stamina? Are there any accommodations needed in the work area? And the last few questions. Does the individual follow instructions and complete work in a timely manner? What areas need to be addressed before the individual is ready for job placement? Is the individual ready to work in the community? And what supports are needed to maintain community employment? In the web portal, there is an example of a CBA report. It's a report template regarding a community-based assessment, and it's from Ohio. And again, you could assign the consumer to review this report so they know what the job coach will be looking for as they observe them doing their situational assessment and how it will be reported back to you, the VR counselor. So here is an example of a CBA report, community-based assessment report. This template's from Ohio. It has the service goals, referral requests, and recommendations section. It goes by the date when the assessment occurred and gives comments. It has the tasks, the employer standards, and comments related to all the tasks. So you could assign your consumer who's involved in community-based assessment to look at this, and they know what to expect is going to be written about them during the CBA. There is also a sample situational assessment tool in the web portal, which you can review with your consumer. And let's go look at that. This is an example of a situational assessment tool. It lists the entry-level employment standards, the skills involved like hygiene, honesty, flexibility. It lists the tasks and how the person completes them and what percentage. It also lists skill areas that will need additional training. And so this would also be a tool that your consumer could look at to understand what's going to happen in a situational assessment. In the web portal, we have sample career exploration worksheets. These can be used by your consumer at an informational interview, or if they're just researching specific jobs in the newspaper or talking to people or on the internet. So you can see there's a career exploration worksheet, and then there's one for internet worksheet. So let's look at the first one, the career exploration worksheet sample. So here we have an example of a career exploration worksheet. You have the name of the occupation, source of information, and then the different questions the person can ask or find the answers to. What training, education, or other qualifications like licenses, registration, and certifications do you need for the occupation? What is the work schedule like? What are the earnings or salary ranges? And what are some sources of additional information, books, schools, people, or websites? So you could assign your consumer, when they're exploring different careers, to use this worksheet to help them figure out what to look for when they're exploring some careers. We've completed reviewing the career exploration resources in the web portal. Let's move on to vocational training and educational opportunities. The resources in the web portal for vocational training and educational opportunities include adult basic education, GED, career and technical education, short-term training, apprenticeships, college, internships, and professional development. Let's begin with reviewing adult basic education. Adult basic education programs serve people ages 16 and over who are not enrolled in school and who want to improve their basic skills in general education development, which is a group of 4 subjects, which when passed, certify that the test taker has American or Canadian high school level academic skills. It provides instruction of how to improve their reading and writing skills, which is literacy, and then also mathematics, how to improve their math skills. There are specific resources for those people living in Ohio for adult basic education. Here is a map and information of Ohio career centers and adult education and career training. So let's look at the map and information for Ohio career centers. So here we have the Ohio Career Centers map. Has some good information if you want to find out, go to your county like Richland County, and it would pull up the Pioneer Career Center with all the information, the classes they have, and a reference to adult basic education and their resources at their school. It's a good resource for locating a career center, joint vocational school in Ohio. Here are some resources for those people living in Illinois regarding adult basic education. The Illinois GED Testing Services Frequently Asked Questions, and the Illinois Adult Education Information website. The web portal has more resources so you can learn about the GED test. For example, the GED testing to change in 2014. The GED 2014 test. It's a video from a person who took the new GED test. And there's the videos regarding how to take the test and strategies. Part 1 and 2. It's based on the old GED test, but they're good strategies to take the test. So if you have a consumer who is going to be taking the GED test, these would be some good resources for them to review before taking it. If you have a consumer who needs to improve their reading and writing, here is some information about literacy and what it means. The ability to read and write. The ability to use language, numbers, images, and other means to understand. The ability to use the dominant symbol system of a culture. Skills to access knowledge through technology. Ability to assess complex contexts, and it involves a set of abilities to understand and use the dominant symbol system of a culture for personal and community development at home and at work. Here is a resource regarding literacy programs in the area where your consumer lives. It's called the Americans Literacy Directory by the Literacy Information and Communication System. The next vocational training and educational opportunity we want to talk about is career and technical education. Career and technical education prepares youth and adults for a wide range of careers. This term applies to schools, institutions, and educational programs that specialize in the skilled trades, applied sciences, modern technologies, and career preparation. These programs frequently offer both academic and career-oriented courses. The programs provide students to gain work experience through internships, job shadowing, on-the-job training, apprenticeships, and industry certification opportunities. It provides opportunities to earn industry-recognized credentials. Some examples of career tracks, fields, and industries include automotive technology, construction, plumbing and electrical contracting, agriculture, dental hygienist, architecture, culinary arts, healthcare, engineering, robotics, veterinary medicine, and many more. This is a video in the web portal that can be viewed by your consumer if they're considering career and technical education. This is a 1.5-minute video which highlights students of a range of talents, backgrounds, and ages, and in a mix of industries in which career and technical education has helped them be successful. Let's look at the video.
Career technical education. It's more than you may know. CTE is learning that works for students, for business and industry of all types, health science, manufacturing, finance, agriculture, and more. Students of all ages are prepared for high-demand fields that are projected to experience the most growth. CTE is learning that works for schools and colleges, learning that works for student achievement, for global competitiveness.
Another resource for vocational training and educational opportunity is a trade school. Trade schools provide students with the job-specific education and skills needed to enter a particular career as a skilled tradesman. A career in trades is good for individuals who enjoy hands-on work. It can require specialized training and certifications. Here you see pictures of examples of the careers one could pursue when attending a trade school. It could be cosmetology, automotive, electrician, construction, veterinarian assistant, and many more. These are just a few examples. When you're working with a consumer who is considering attending a trade school, here is a website to help locate the nearest trade school near the consumer. Let's go check it out. Here's the website where your consumer could search for a vocational or skilled trade school near them. They would go down here and put in their zip code and do a search, and it would bring up schools near them. So it's a good resource if a consumer is looking for a trade school. Another option for vocational training and educational opportunities is an apprenticeship. An apprenticeship is a combination of on-the-job training and related classroom instruction under the supervision of a journey-level craft person or trade professional. When you're an apprentice, you learn the practical and theoretical aspects of a highly skilled occupation, and it gives you the ability to earn while you learn. The apprenticeship resources include a website for apprenticeship programs in Ohio, in Illinois, and one by the U.S. Department of Labor Apprentice website. Let's look at the Illinois website. This is a website by the Illinois Laborers and Contractors Joint Apprenticeship and Training Program. Another option for vocational training and educational opportunities is short-term training. This includes any class or program that lasts less than 2 years. The web portal has 2 resources. They are career one-stop resources. One is for short-term training resources, and the other is for short-term training finder. So if you're working with a consumer who wants to do some short-term training, less than 2 years, these would be some resources to explore in finding what's available. Another option is a short-term certificate program. These are programs that last between a few weeks to a few months or up to a year. And here is a resource, a website that explains what are short-term certificate programs by study.com. The next option would be attending a community college. These are 2-year colleges. They're public institutions providing higher education. They can grant certificates, diplomas, and associate degrees. Many of them offer continuing and adult education. And some students, after graduating from a community college, transfer to a four-year college or university for 2 to 3 years to complete a bachelor's degree. When you're working with a consumer who is considering attending a community college, you could refer them to the web portal to review these resources. Here is an article on the 6 reasons to attend a community college, and then another article on the community college myth versus fact. So let's look at the first article, 6 reasons to attend a community college. This is a 2-page article by the College Board. If your consumer lives in Ohio and they are considering attending a community college, they can go to this website to locate the nearest one to them. If your consumer is from Illinois, they can go to this website to locate a community college near where they live. And this is sponsored by the Illinois Community College Board. Let's go look at this website. So here we see the website for locating a community college in Illinois. This website lists all the community colleges. And if you could go to one that you're interested in that is near you, say we pick Highland Community College in Freeport, you can click on that and it'll take you to Highland Community College main website with all of their information. The next option for educational opportunities would be attending a four-year college or university. These are public universities, private universities, liberal arts colleges, and career colleges offering bachelor degrees. These fall under the category of four-year colleges and universities. You may have a consumer who is contemplating attending a four-year college. You could send them to the web portal and request that they review the information regarding why go to a four-year college, and then they could come back and you could discuss that at your next meeting. Some of the resources are articles, some of them are a website. There's an article, Why Go to College, an article, What's it all about and why it matters, and then there's a website, Pros and Cons of State Universities. Let's look at the website, Pros and Cons of State Universities. This is the website about the pros and cons of state universities by scholarships.com. I like this article because it lists the pros and cons. Some of the pros: affordable tuition, dynamic atmosphere, on-campus employment opportunities, a loyal student body, flexibility, knowledgeable instructors, challenging courses. Some of the cons: finding out information. If something happens on a university campus, it may be hard, may take longer to find the right person to reverse some errors that may be made, such as a parking citation or something. Availability of classes, accessibility of professors. Students may get lost in the crowd, particularly if the student's an introvert. So it reviews some of the pros and cons of attending a state university. You and your consumer have decided that it would be an option for them to attend a college. So here are some resources that are in the portal regarding attending colleges. There's a website, You Can Go, by the College Board, where you can search for colleges near you. There's a website about learning about your college and career school options. And then we have a video about college options for people with intellectual disabilities. Let's first look at the website You Can Go, searching for colleges near you. So here we have the website You Can Go by the College Board, where you can search for colleges. You would put in your zip code or the name of the city or the state. So you put in the zip code, and then you would click Go. And then it brings up the two-year colleges in your area. In my area, there's Sinclair Community College, Miami University Middletown, Clark State College, community college, four-year colleges and universities in the area, University of Dayton, Cedarville, Wittenberg, and then you could click on whichever one you would like to look at and see what they offer. You could make a campus visit, so this would be a good option to help people to search for colleges near where they live. Let's look at this video, College Options for People with Intellectual Disabilities. This is by Think College, and it's good information related to college options for people with intellectual disabilities. It has some reading about the issue and also has a short video. Let's check out the video.
Hi, my name is Cassidy. Welcome to the college search page. This is where you can find information about colleges. All the programs listed here help students with intellectual disabilities.
This next slide shows the resources in the web portal related to financial resources for people with disabilities to attend college. There are 4 articles. One is Students with Disabilities Preparing for Post-Secondary Education. Another article, Financial Aid Opportunities for Students with Disabilities, Disability Grants for College, and an article, Disability Scholarships. Let's look at the article entitled Disability Scholarships by scholarships.com. When your consumer is attending a college or university or a community college, they may want to learn about Office of Disability Services. The Office of Disability Services strives to promote equal access to all campus programs, services, and activities. They engage campuses to empower students, enhance equity, and provide a platform for innovation and inclusion. They provide reasonable and appropriate accommodations. They encourage student development through self-advocacy and personal decision-making. They also provide training and information to faculty and administration that upholds inclusions of persons with disabilities. These are the resources in the web portal related to Office of Disability Services. There are 3 videos, one about a student profile that has an individual student talking about her experience at Penn State University using the Office of Disability Services. There's a video of the Office of Disability Services at Rutgers University, and then a video regarding transitioning to college with a disability. Let's look at the video with the student profile.
My name is Dana Roberts. I'm 22 years old and I'm a biology, genetics, and development option major here at Penn State. I came here in fall 2009, no clue about anything whatsoever, and kind of went through my first 2 years and just like any other student. And my boyfriend kind of convinced me to go get tested for a learning disability. And I went and got tested, and it turns out, lo and behold, ta-da, I have one. I was diagnosed with ADD and a cognitive processing disability that affects into a reading disability. The cognitive processing just means it takes me a lot longer to get information into my memory. I got to apply for accommodations through the Office of Disability Services, and my life basically changed entirely and changed for the better. My accommodations include time and a half for exams.
Another option for educational opportunities is online learning. Online learning is sometimes referred to as e-learning, which is a form of distance education. Online courses are delivered over the internet and can be accessed from a computer with a web browser. The courses can be delivered at your convenience anytime or any place. You take a class without meeting a teacher in a classroom. Courses have a set schedule. They do not require that you be online at a certain time of day or night, but that you are active in the course during the schedule. Here is a listing of the 2 articles in the web portal regarding what is online learning. So if you have a consumer interested in this aspect of learning, you could send them to the web portal to investigate this topic. Here are some resources to locate online colleges and schools in Ohio and Illinois. Let's check out the Online Colleges in Illinois website. It is by the Open Education Database, and it gives an overview of online colleges in Illinois. The next option for vocational training or educational opportunity is internships. Interns may be college or university students, high school students, or postgraduate adults. This is a temporary position with an emphasis on on-the-job training rather than employment. It can be paid or unpaid. It provides practical experience for beginners in an occupation or profession. Generally, internships consist of an exchange of services for experience between the student and an organization. The web portal has information about internships. Here's one: Emerging Leaders Summit Internship Program for College Students with Disabilities. The next one is Internship Program for Students with Disabilities in Illinois. And NASA, interested in recruiting students with disabilities. So let's look at the Internship Program for Students with Disabilities from Illinois. That is a website by the Interagency Committee on Employees with Disabilities. The web portal also has resources to locate internships in Illinois and Ohio. Internships for non-students is another resource in the web portal. If you are looking for some work experience or are interested in a career change, think about an internship to get an insider view of a new career. It will allow you to gain experience and help you decide if it is something you really want to do. Plan your internship search just like you would a job search, except specifically when you apply that you're interested in an internship rather than a permanent position. And here is an article, Internships Are Not for Students Only, which is by Dawn McKay, who is a career planning expert, and it gives information about tips of how to find an internship if you're a non-student. The last avenue we'll talk about today related to vocational training and educational opportunities is professional development. Professional development is the continuous process of acquiring new knowledge and skills related to one's profession, job responsibilities, or work environment. It can be many types of educational experiences related to an individual's work. Many fields require ongoing learning approved by the profession, and sometimes it is required to keep a job. Professionals often voluntarily seek new learning. The web portal resources related to professional development include 3 articles: Why Professional Development, Take Charge of Your Professional Development, and Keeping Your Professional Development Continuous. So let's look at the article, Why Professional Development. Here's the article regarding why professional development. It's a 1-page article, and it talks about why it's important to maintain and build upon your present competencies and skills and abilities. So it's a good article about professional development. Thank you for viewing today's webinar. We appreciate your time. We hope it provided information that will be useful in your daily vocational rehabilitation guidance and counseling activities with your consumer. If you would like to participate in our study, evaluating the effectiveness of online portal-based vocational service, or provide feedback regarding this webinar, please contact us. Thank you.